one more. A round of applause for Mr. Ethan Fry. All right. Our next speaker would like me to introduce himself as the godfather of Cosmos. He's a nice guy, but do not ask him for anything on the day of his daughter's wedding, all right? He's off limits that day. Up next on the stage is the co-founder of Commercio, Mr. Enrico Talin.
Thank you very much. That's the clicker. Thank you. So, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Before doing anything, I really think we should ask Michael to just stand up and please accept our gratitude for organizing this. This is please, big round of applause. This is 2 years we haven't met each other. Okay, all screens, all 2D. For the first time we got 3D. Thank you for the 3D. I love it. Thank you. Thank you very much. All Michael and all the team, of course. So today I'm gonna talk about something really, really different because we heard a lot of interesting projects today, a lot of interesting news, and we got a lot of interesting things about DeFi. And today we're gonna talk a little bit about RealFi, which is something which is more into the real world and how we can bridge the blockchain to the real world. So my name is Enrico Talin, and I've been just a little bit about me. I've been working in the enterprise software for 27 years. Yeah, that old. And I was in the blockchain before it was called the blockchain, because I used to, believe it or not, mine Bitcoin with my CPU. So very old guy in terms of blockchain. And in 2016, I went to the DevCon 2. I met Vitalik and friends, and I became a big hodler, big evangelist about Ethereum. But my life changed in 2018, because in 2018, I met Cosmos, and I knew I was going to be able to build something for the real world. Because Cosmos was the enabling technology that was really making the number of transactions I needed for my project. So, together with a group of co-founders, 25, not 25, we built an interesting project I'm gonna talk about today. And I've been also an evangelist for the enterprise, so I'll try to bring Cosmos to companies and try to understand, try to explain to them what they can do with Cosmos. So I'm more into since I dwell in the enterprise market, I always try to really try to educate. And so we created this thing called cosmosenterprise.org, and it's a little thing that we build a connection with universities and companies. We get a lot of developers. So I don't know if anybody is interested in developers, Cosmos developers, just might take a look there. We published 3 books on Cosmos development, consulting a blockchain. And yeah, and also we've been doing this little thing called Commercio Network, which is basically the first legally binding documents blockchain. Legally binding. What is it? Okay, I tell you. It's something big. Big. Big as it can be. So it's about 2.2 trillion euro market. So that big kind of thing. And this digital transformation market, at the core of this digital transformation market, there is a legislation. It's a European legislation called Aidas. Aidas is something which is a legislation, means that it's basically a pan-European. So you have one legislation that works across all the European market. So you don't have to go to Italy, to Germany. It's the same. That's one of the good things about the common market, because you have the same rules applies throughout the European community. And basically, Aidas directive, that's what's the directive, so a country cannot say, I don't want it. It's a directive that comes like, you have it to implement. Allows any digital document, okay, to have the same exact legal value as the paper one. Wow. Means that I can sign a document, I can sign a contract, and I don't have to do it by presence, face to face. I can do it completely digital way. And it has like the same legal value. But to do that, you need to follow the process of Aidas. Not an easy one, tell you, not easy one. But if you can do it, okay, then you can really, really, really make things happen. And what is the cornerstone of Aidas? There are 3 pillars, 3 things that you need to do. The first one is to get your identity. And that can be, of course, an electronic identity. So instead of having like the physical passport, you can have inside of your mobile phone, you have like your same identity, and you can use it exactly when you show the passport. Then you have like the signature, which is basically the same as a signature, but digital. And then last one is the delivery. Why? Because if I sign a document, and that's me that sign it, but I keep it, who knows? I have to send it to you. And when I send it to you, I need to prove it that I send it to you, and the fact that the document I signed, that was the one that you received. So this is like, these are the 3 pillars you need to do anything. And that's the 3 pillars I'm going to talk today. But that's the big twist. I'm going to talk about identity because this is the most important part of all the process. Because everything starts from identity. You cannot have legally nothing unless you have the identity done. And the identity is the most difficult part. And guess what? Aidas is already going to Aidas 2, which is the new upcoming directive. And the amazing thing, and that's why everybody should be excited in this room, at least the European one, American, they don't care, or, you know, Asian don't care, but in terms of European, this new Aidas directive is based on 2 new concepts, very new concepts. You never heard about them. It's called, one, they have like a AD wallet. What is a wallet? A wallet is it's a BIP39 wallet where like this stores the user public key and let them sign with the private keys. And like, it's very new concept. Nobody in the crypto business have heard about it. Or maybe yes, I don't know. Maybe somebody, yeah. So this is like wallet thing. And the second thing, the second pillar they're enabling in the European community, it's called a distributed registry. Wow, distributed registry. Can you believe it's such a thing? It's like, I'll try to explain to you because I think you'd never heard about this, It's like, I want to really be clear. It's like, a ledger, like a state machine, has like immutability, distribution, kind of like decentralized feature. I'm not sure you guys have heard because I'm not like talking to the right audience. So I don't think you never heard about this kind of like called blockchain. I don't know. Yeah, it's something new. So this is the cornerstone of the identity. So basically, the European community is thinking about and is planning to use the blockchain and our wallets for the basis of the identity. That's fantastic. This is something like amazing for everybody in the space. And the cool thing that has like a privacy by design model based on a standard, an international standard, from the same good people that brought us HTTP protocol, these good people that create HTTP, they created an amazing thing called DID, which is like same as HTTP, but for identities. Beautiful, fantastic. So the self-sovereign identity, says SSI, okay, is amazing. Why? Because it's an electronic identity in which the user, the person that holds the data, okay, is the user itself. So I am the owner of my own data. Wow, how can it be? I mean, why not everybody else owns my own data? No, let's do something different. Let's put people back on charge. Let's have like people that actually are the people that have like their own data. Amazing, that's like something that we give for granted. And not We don't give it to the government or the larger corporations. We give it back to the people that hold all the information. That's wow. Now, why is this important? Why is it important that the holder owns its own data? We have, I tell you, we have a very little privacy problem. Because an electronic identity, unfortunately, it's like a footprint. And a footprint that each person leaves whenever it goes around. And this, whenever I do a website, a visit website, I purchase something, all this data leaves a trail. Sorry, I mean, it's a matter of life. And this thing generates a lot of traffic and data that usually people get excited about. The corporation gets excited because this data can be used for like many purposes. And identity, right now, is a free super nice service done by super nice companies. You have like Facebook, now Meta, Google, Microsoft. They all give you this like super free identity. You can log in with this, log in with that. Yeah, free. And unfortunately, even if they did a huge thing about GDPR, privacy, the real fact is that we still have a big problem because de facto, we don't have much control. Okay, so that's the real part because they twisted a lot of data around. So the privacy is still a huge issue, and it's still absolutely unsolved. Okay, when purchase data, it's bad, but when you have sensitive data, what is sensitive data? Something that has to do with my race, with my religion, my religious beliefs, my political beliefs. The way I have my gender, my trade union beliefs, health, sex life, who I love, man, animal, woman, whatever, that's something that kind of absolutely fix and gets a picture of you. And this can be exploited. And this information are exchanged, used to track and predict the way you do things in life. And this, it's really, really, really big problem. It's a big privacy problem. And please remember, when something is free, you are the product. So if Facebook gives you free identity, there's nothing free in life. You are the product. Okay? And this is very important to remember. Nothing is free, especially identities. Okay, there's a big price you pay. So what's the identity solution? Basically, there's two things that we can match together. One is the self-sovereign identity. It's a principle, it's a technology in which basically citizen people have total sovereignty of their identities. They can be managed autonomously, so you don't have intermediaries, and can be used anywhere. Citizens have now the opportunity to have back the possession of their own data and share it only with the personal information to the one they choose, and they can always have the power to revoke them. Amazing stuff. And that's the self-sovereign identity. And the blockchain wallet is cool because it's very cool when it's paired with the blockchain because, the wallet, it's already given. We know how to use it. We know how to, so it's very like a marriage match in heaven. It's there. It's we just need to use the same infrastructure we're using for sending tokens and getting tokens. We use it for sharing and sending our identity. And most important, the number one thing is the blockchain is used to certify the way that all the interaction are notarized. So it's cool because when I say no, when I say yes, it's notarized. So okay, I said yes to this privacy. When I say I revoke it, it's immutable. So I said I revoke it. So cannot we said maybe. There's no maybe on the blockchain. That's it. It's there forever. Okay. Very, very important now. On the blockchain, needs to be only used for managing the wallet. Never, ever the personal data. I absolutely saw few projects. I'm not going to name names, but there are like some projects that put verifiable credential on a blockchain. Wrong. Don't ever think about it doing it. Why? You never, ever, never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever, never, ever put any personal information on the blockchain, because that's a disaster, because you have personal data forever. Completely unchangeable, completely, you cannot delete something, so you never should put any data. People that put that, no, please go back and remove the verifiable credential from the Cosmos, let's say, module, okay? That's the architecture. So there's like DID, which is basically the URL, like HTTP, and that's a page, and DID, that's you. And the did method is, for example, like the .com, okay? So, for example, I don't know, priceline.com or booking.com, and com is basically, by the way, com is commercial, so we got like the .com, and did com, and that's the address, that's the did, that's the did. And the DDO is basically a document that contains all your public keys, so it's like, you know, people heard about like Keybase, where you have like your public keys. That's the same thing. So the DDO is basically kind of like Keybase, where like a public, but you don't refer, you don't associate the DID with yourself. It's just like public, it's an address, it's something that it's not done. And then there is the real like personal data thing, it's in the verifiable credentials. Government issue passport and things like that. And SSI provides a mechanism to share these VC, verifiable credential, in a way that is cryptographically secure, because we exchange proof. We don't exchange data. We never exchange data. We exchange proofs. It's very cool. These are the three roles. So the issuers are the people that provides you the verifiable credential. The holders, that's you. The people that request. And the verifier, people that wants to verify, that's you. Okay, so this is like pretty cool. This is an example of an app that we did to prove. So this is the commercial network account. So you have like your identity here, and then you can have like your KYC. You could have your COVID Green Pass, which is like the good one, the one that's got rejected. And you can have all these things, KYC, identity, link, and you know, you can verify with, for example, your national identity, so you just a snap, or you can like verify with a bank account, and it's even like faster, or you can verify with the famous show smile, whatever, and that's something you can do. And this is like the person that verified for the verifier, and this is you. You can choose, I want to share with you only my name, but I don't want to have like my fiscal, like my tax code, and I don't want to give you my date of birth, but I want to share that I am over 18, which I am, okay? And that's it. And I can refresh, and I will share selectively only what I want to share with you. That's it. Very cool. If you want to learn more about it, about SSI and blockchain in general, we create like this free website called Blockchain Workshop, and there's like free seminars, tells you a little bit. We're like, it's very early, but we're going to put a lot of information there. This is like our kind of like information site. So I said before we have like three things, and one is the signature. No, sorry, the identity, and then the signature, the delivery. But once we got the ID, everything else is super easy. Super easy. Because if we have the ID done, the signature is basically just like a certificate signing request performed on a chain, which can be done by yourself. I can just sign it, and that's like a simple electronic signature. Or you can ask a TSP, which is like a trust service provider, the one that sells you the certificate. Costs a little bit, but then you have like an advance. And you can have also the QTSP, which is like qualified. These are like the superstar of the signatures. Okay, there are very few. And you can have like a digital signature. This is like superpower and signature. And that's the signature. The delivery, super easy. It's basically just a transaction, okay, on the blockchain. From one did to another did. That's it. I just like send you a transaction with what? It's a transaction that certifies the fact that this is the document. I don't send, of course, any document on the blockchain. I just get a document, I create the hash of the document, and then I send the hash of the document, the footprint, okay? Every document has a footprint, so I just do that, and then I can certify that it was like the document I sent. So, very last few seconds, that's the last slide. I talk about, asset-based NFT. So imagine that you have this legally binding blockchain. Wow, we have this. And then you have like these three things called identity, signature, delivery. Wow, superpowers that never been possible before on a blockchain. Then what you can do? You're like a cheese maker. You have like this big wheel of Parmesan cheese that sits in your inventory for 3 years and don't make any money, cost you money. What you can do is to create a legally binding contract, sign a PDF, and that assign the possession of this Parmesan cheese, okay, to the bearer, to the owner of the token. So basically, you can do finance, real fi, not DeFi, real fi. Every single company in the world can tokenize their assets, and they can get liquidity out of what costing them money because they're not yet on the market. This is absolutely mind-blowing. And you can tokenize the world. Credits, debits, any asset, building, a Rolex watch, a rare wine, everything, not just digital art. You can do real art because you assign the real art to the owner. Wow, that's amazing. And this will be available on Commercio Network in December. Thank you very much.